The best day of your life is the day that you realize that nobody's come to save you, and you can smile with a little bit of cynical on your face.
Yep. I say that all the time. It's like once you kind of with a lot of guys in particular, like young men who are kind of coming up, trying to learn about the world. Maybe haven't had the experiences you've had as a young man, right? So they haven't been exposed to that.
Right.
They can shirk this burden of performance that we have as guys because they weren't taught to step up. They weren't taught No. And I try to tell guys like, look, it sucks that you have to be on all the fucking time. Whoop-de-doo, that's your deal as a man. But once you accept it, it's actually like relaxing. It's like, all right, I'm on all the time. There's no like on and off switch. There's no like, it's kind of like rewinding to when you were working like a 9-to-5 job. If you've ever worked one, when it's like you're looking forward to the weekend,
shitty ones.
because the weekend is like the time off. The weekend is the me time, and it's like, oh, I have to drudge through these 5 days to enjoy these 2 days. But when you're on 24/7, it changes that dynamic. I think we talked about yesterday. We talked about when your reality and your expectations are far apart. That's when you're unhappy.
That's the formula for happiness. The gap between your expectations and your reality.
Yep.
And if you don't like that gap, you better get to fucking work.
And move your reality up to where your expectations are.
Yeah, you better be fucking close that damn gap.
Don't lower your expectations. If you have like dreams and shit, keep them where they are, but raise you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the key right there.
Don't slip down. Don't slip down at all.
Tell everybody about your business ventures and like what you've done in the business world and the financial world, because I think this is very important for guys to sort of understand.
Yeah.
You're not just a meathead.
No.
You're a guy who makes coin.
No, people that are meatheads, So, like I said before, you grow up in a small town. My family certainly was not in the right circles to be around doctors or lawyers or anything like that. I don't know, just straight up, man. And so the only way that I knew how to make money, being from where I'm from, is the only way to make doctor money is in cowboy boots or in boots in general, man. And so as a kid, between football practices on holidays and everything, I worked in the metal building trade, packing sheets as literally a redheaded stepchild, and we were doing sheds in people's backyards and stuff, and I wasn't even big enough to pick the panels up. I'm like, try to pick the panel, the wind would blow, and it was like, sheet boy, and
you're a big boy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was like 12 though. They're grown ass men up on the roof drinking Bud Heavy, and no shirts on, and so that was the only thing I knew to do. And I knew I wanted to leave that town because I was pitched the dream. This is the dream I bought, is if you make good grades and you're good at football, you can leave this town, go play college football, and you'll be a project manager in Dallas somewhere. You'll make $100K a year. You'll have a 401K and a truck allowance.
Right.
Yeah.
That is the dream that you've been sold.
That's the dream. And it was 100% job placement. I'll never forget that, man. And my junior year though, we're on the way to play Arkansas. And this is when Arkansas had like Darren McFadden and Felix Jones and Hillis. So I was kind of amped, but I kind of wanted to distract myself. And I don't even know how this happened, but I ran over Rich Epworth and I read it my junior year of college. And I'll never forget, I told my teammate in the room that night, Zeke Zachary, love the guy, he's incredible. I said, man, I'm gonna have a business one day, And for whatever reason, I felt like he believed me, at that time. I must have been like really, on it. That day because I didn't know any better. You're 21 years old. You don't know what you don't know. And then I graduate in 2009, fall 2009, and there's no work. There's absolutely no work. And so I had to take a job digging ditches with a construction management degree, which is fine, whatever. Not too good for that. And I come home. I was actually dating Miss Louisiana at the time. She had gotten third place at Miss America, and I broke up with her over me wanting to not just have one girlfriend.
Stone cold players.
Yeah, it was bad. But it was bad though, because I did love her. Player. I did love her. And
you love every woman you
of course I do. Yeah, I'm a good man. But it was shit because there was 2 billboards of her on the way home, blah, blah, blah. And
you're the only other man who has had that experience as well.
What's that?
Having somebody you've had sex with on a billboard.
Yeah.
Because I get, when I drove into the AVN Awards in Vegas, they have these big signs up on as you're driving to Vegas with all like the trophy girls, and I'm like, I've fucked like 5 of these chicks. You're the only other person I've had who's had the similar experience of seeing someone like that on a billboard.
Yeah. I don't mean to brag, but I've had 3 women on a billboard.
There you go. There you go.
And it's kind of a fluke because like 2 of them aren't like dimes, but I mean they're probably 8s or 9. I mean they're good looking. They're beautiful women, sweethearts, all of them. Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, so what happened is I didn't have a job. I was really down about it. And she had actually met a man on a cruise. And so I was like in this push and pull of trying to get back. I was doing it completely wrong. What are you going to do? You're 23 years old.
Yep.
I don't fucking know. And so I go back to Baton Rouge after that, and I wait tables at Texas de Brazil. And I was waiting tables at night. And then during the day, I would go to job sites and companies and bring my resume. And I'd gone to they were building a hospital, women's hospital. And I went there 3 times. And I go in there, it's the job trailers on site. I go in there, it was funny, it's such a dumbass. I thought I could go apply there. Like corporate was in Dallas, for this company. But I'm like going to the job site because I don't give a shit. Plus I don't know, So I just took action on it. My resume shit, by the way. I've done nothing but finish college. I have a piece of paper and then a resume. And I go, obviously there's a gatekeeper in the front. I'm like, ma'am, can I see the boss? And she's like, son, you can't just come in here and ask me to see the boss. Yes, ma'am. Okay. So I go back. It was the 3rd time I went. And I'd like already talked to her about, like her kids on the wall in her little office or whatever. But this is like an on-site job trailer situation. Yep. This is not like a brick and mortar building.
Yeah.
The 3rd time she goes, you know what? Stay right there. Yeah. So I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
So this angry ass looking 50-something-year-old man, just gristled, just looked pissed. And that's most guys in construction, to be honest with you. They're just mad. It's stressful as fuck. And he's like, are you Justin? I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, come with me. So we go to the back, plops down, give it to me. And I'm all like, like I slide it over to him, And he looks at it, he looks at me, he looks at it, he looks at me, he throws it on the desk, and he goes, son, you mean to tell me that you came in here on a $50 million project and asked to see the boss, stopping all my time, everything, you've been in here 3 times, I've heard about this. You mean to tell me that's what you're doing right now? Yes, sir. Kind of ducking, He leans back and he goes, I like that shit. Gave me a fucking job, bro.
Nice.
It was incredible. And so what happened from there, obviously last one in, first one out at the end of the job, fine. But what I had done in that time is figured out how to apply for my contractor's license. And so I went to the bank and I'm like, they're paying me per diem and everything. So I had extra money. I mean, I was used to eating ramen noodles. So it wasn't that fucking hard. And I auto drafted like 70, 80% of my money from my weekly paycheck into another account, because to apply for a contractor's license in Louisiana, you have to have a net worth of $10,000. Well, I had a $2,500 pickup truck that wouldn't even start half the fucking time. They called it the Green Donkey, by the way. Anybody that knows me knows that. And so I eventually got that $10,000 in that bank account. And then I applied for my contractor's license, and that was a commercial license. And then I went and moved that money from one account to another bank account and applied for my residential, which I don't know if that was necessary at the time, but hey, I was making chess moves.
Yep.
So, fuck it. And that was over 10 years ago. 10 years ago in March, we made 10 years. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into at 24, but.
And now you run your own construction
absolutely.
business.
And that's what that license was for. Yeah. We have right at 70 men in probably 8 or 9 states today. From California, Connecticut.
Say that again slower. You have how many men?
70 men.
70 men in about 9 states.
8 to 9 states.
And you do
from California.
Commercial
pre-engineered metal buildings, structural steel. Like, we Costco's, airplane hangars.
From a trailer park to that. Yeah,
and it's funny, speaking of Tristan said something that made me laugh really hard the last time we were in Miami together. And I can't do his accent. I'm going to try. He's just like, you know what? This man went from living in the trailer park to owning the trailer park. One of the best moments I've ever had, because I love Tristan, obviously. and yeah, it's crazy. We actually offered on another park last weekend. It got accepted.
A trailer park.
Yeah, so it's in due diligence right now.
Yeah, and so gentlemen, you too can own your own trailer park.
Yeah, one day you can own your own. I call myself white trash royalty. it is what it is, man. I don't ever want to fight where I'm from.
Right.
You know, like
That's right.
we're always joking about my accent and things like that.
Yep.
You know, like, bro, I just want to be myself.